My practice is in between at the borderlines of visual arts and music. I come initially from a musical background and working with sound and electroacoustic music. And from this, I shifted towards more spatial works and works that rely on instruments and performance and activate sound in different ways and in its different forms and manifestations. In my work, sound became more as a source of energy that can be perceived by the ears, but also energy that can become vibration or energy that can become electricity and move things. And on Water's Witness, what's happening is actually a combination of all those, where the composition that we have here at Fridericianum and that I'm showing for the first time is a culmination of years of recording big harbor cities and bringing these field recordings from cities that were born from their harbors into the space, and mainly the cities of Abu Dhabi and Athens, and having these two dialogue together through materials that came from these harbors and spaces, like marble stones that came from quarries near Athens and metal rails that are used in construction sites all over the world and a lot in Abu Dhabi. These sounds and this piece talks about two different dynamics, two different worlds, and so these two cities juxtaposed with each other are for me a reflection of today's world. And in the piece here, the field recordings and the sound that was recorded in these harbor is playing and activating other instruments and principles in that space. So the instruments we have inside are manipulated by sound, and the audience is invited to sit on the stones, lean against them, lean on the metal rails, and perceive sound in a very intimate way, either through the body and direct contact with it, or through massive stones that filter it and like make it hazy and dreamy and give it another texture. In parallel to this, the second component of this exhibition here is a workshop and experimentation space that relies on a project called the Table of Contents. These tables are like a lexicon of the tools I use, the instruments I use, the sound mechanisms and device I work with that are given to other people, whether they are professionals or amateurs, to experiment and work with through workshops and different educational propositions the museums will be offering throughout the period of this exhibition. On Water's Witness, the form of the space and the composition of the space came from sound composition, where a lot of the decisions in how elements are placed and in dialogue with each other and with the space came from listening to the material one by one, so listening to each stone, listening to the rails, and seeing how these elements are transmitting and emitting sound, and then combining these with pre-composed lines on instruments and ideas I brought with me. And actually it was all put here together in Kassel the last 2 weeks. And I wouldn't say it's a site-specific composition because it's a space within a space within a space. So sound inside the space of the stone, sound inside the space of metal, and those inside the space of Fridericianum.